Welcome to The Breakdown with Taylor Brown, the show where we talk about global journeys and inspiring stories. We're here at Busgoying Poets in Hyattsville, Maryland, and on today's show, we're talking with Kyah Proctor. Kyah Proctor is a professional basketball player overseas and a former Division II basketball player at Bowie State University. Kyah, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. It's one of your guests.
Of course. So, Kyah, I know we talked a little bit before we got started here. It was great to catch up. I know last time we talked, I was in Sweden, and we were just going back and forth, seeing you hoop here in the States, in Pitsley, Bethel, and then going overseas and killing it. Let's talk about the beginning of your career, and then we'll get to, college and overseas. So let's break down how did you get started, and when did you start playing?
So when did I start playing professional? Or at the beginning?
At the beginning, like 6 years old.
So I kind of was a tomboy growing up. So I was outside, with the boys. Just kind of how I got my athletic skills, I guess.
Right.
So I didn't play organized basketball until about 7th grade.
Okay.
So, middle school team, you're trying out. Everybody makes it.
Right.
So you don't know how good you really are or whatever. So after that, 8th grade, I tried out for AAU team soldier.
Okay. Yeah.
So I wasn't that good to be on the team.
All right.
But God at that point. But God, because I met my best friend, and her dad happened to be the coach.
Okay.
So over time, I just kept going to workouts, and pretty much I was around because she wanted me to be around with her. I was her best friend. Of course, Dad let my best friend play with us type of thing.
Right.
But over time, my work ethic, like I was at every workout. I was doing 3-a-days, 2-a-days, but didn't even know what they were. I just wanted to play basketball.
Right.
So over the time, I started getting better and better and adapting to the journey of getting better. Like I always wanted to learn something.
Yeah.
So over time, I kind of was, at that point, my Coach Brown's project for.
Okay.
So he taught me the correct way to do certain things. Like I had to change my shot form. I was really little, really fast, so I played defense.
Yeah,
of course. But I wanted to score the ball. I wanted to play in the game longer.
Right.
So over time, I just kind of was getting better. So I was surpassing people that I thought was amazing at that point.
Yeah.
So after that, after just working hard that summer from 8th grade to 9th grade, it was my biggest change, I would say. So I've grown so much. And everyone noticed the growth, but I mentally wasn't aware of how much I've grown and learned.
Right.
So then following AAU season, I was starting over the people I thought were so good. And that's when it hit me okay, I got better then because I used to think they were good. Now I'm in their position.
Yeah.
So from there on, I just kind of played every day, all day, all the time.
Okay.
And just always tried to learn and worked with many different trainers and things like that. Just kind of getting different perspectives.
Right.
Because everyone has different perspectives on the game and moves and just things like that. And I'm very intrigued by the way people think of certain things. So that's kind of what got me to where I am now.
Gotcha. Okay. So you went to Flowers, right?
Yep.
Charlotte River Flowers. How was that? I think, what year did you go to Flowers and when did you graduate?
I went to Flowers 2009 to 2013.
Okay.
And my coach was Fraser Watson.
I remember. Yeah. Okay. How was that experience at Flowers? The Flowers was always for me, we played Flowers. It was a public school, but it was that public school that was good. You had to get it prepared. So how was it?
I would say it was definitely challenging because it was challenging mentally for me because I was good enough to play varsity, let's say my freshman year.
Okay.
But mentally, I wasn't ready.
Gotcha.
So I would practice with them and stuff, but when it came game time, I don't know, I didn't show up or I would freak myself out.
Okay.
So I didn't play varsity my freshman year.
Gotcha.
I just practiced with them, whatever. Continuing to get better. But after that, again, I just was always grinding, and it was a lot of like, okay, she's young, but she's performing now. Like, she's showing up. Okay, this is what, why she was on varsity or sitting on the bench last year, things like that. But just the coaching and everything, I think it was a lot of good development for me, just understanding how intense a practice could be.
Right.
How, honestly, you have to show up all weekend, like all your time.
Yeah.
You have to pretty much commit yourself to.
Yeah. Yeah.
That it was definitely great practice in figuring out if that's what I wanted to do. Yeah, forever or as a career or beyond that point.
No, 100%. I remember it's interesting you mentioned like freshman year. I played JV as well, but I played JV and varsity. But it still was like, you're trying to find your way. Like you're trying to find your way on the varsity team and into a role where you're actually like you feel like you're contributing or you're playing a part. So that took a while. I would say it really didn't hit me till like my junior year. That was like my takeoff year. Did you have like a takeoff year where you felt like everything kind of clicked in high school? Or like
I would say kind of sophomore to junior year. Like, I guess I was getting more confident within myself. So I think that's a major thing. Just
that's a good one.
Knowing who I am.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like, you can score the ball. You can defend. So when you're out there, just, you work hard. So trust your process.
Right.
Right. So once I kind of got that into my head and I was more relaxed, no matter who I was playing with, it was comfortable.
Yeah. After high school, you played at Bowie State, right? What was that process like, the recruiting process and making that decision and why Bowie State? I'm from Bowie, so yeah, why Bowie?
So I would say Bowie was the most consistent with saying how much they wanted me.
Gotcha.
So I really felt like, okay, like they're working hard, they're making it known, like they're consistently communicating with me, things like that.
Right.
I considered a JUCO.
Okay.
Instead of going to Bowie, because of course I'm from PG County too, so I didn't want to kind of stay at home.
Right.
I wanted to go away and get that experience.
Yeah.
But with the JUCO, it would have been too much on me and my family trying to like maintain my apartment, things like that. Right. So I was like, okay, if I go to Bowie, I'm just gonna try to make it the best college experience I can on and off the court.
Right.
So I chose Bowie. I was just like, okay, it seems like a good fit for me.
Yeah.
Me and my family, not too much stress, I have a scholarship here, why not? So then I went there and I kind of stuck to it. We broke a lot of records, made some history. Yeah. So it was a great experience. I did what I reached my goal there.
Right. So you made, I believe I looked it up, you were made a rookie team?
Yeah.
All rookie team. How was your freshman year? Was it like a hard transition or you just like, you were kind of like, you felt you were prepared? Like, how did you feel like that transition going to college?
I would say, so I redshirted my freshman year of college.
Okay.
So I still was practicing, things like that.
Yeah.
So when I figured out I can play, it was like middle of semester. So I played half a season my freshman year.
Okay.
But I was so excited to be on the court. Like, I just was like, I've been waiting to play in college. Like,
yeah.
So it was all adrenaline, excitement, just trying to get people to figure out who I was.
Right.
So I had a great time just kind of hopping in the middle of the season. And my goal was like, okay, you're playing half a season.
Right.
Make yourself known this half a season. So no matter what, they was like, where'd she come from? Whatever.
Yeah.
Just hoop for, and it worked out that way. The CIs was definitely an interesting league to play in.
Okay.
Because honestly, it was anybody's day all the time.
Gotcha.
And it was very competitive.
Who was one of your rivals?
Virginia Union.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely Virginia Union.
Are they still, like, they're always that program that's every year?
Yeah, they're always that program. And then talking to, like, coaches and stuff, I had a talk with their coach, like, after a game. And she was like, I personally recruit for you. And I was like, damn. Wow. Like, that's so much respect.
Right. So she was building a team around you pretty much.
Pretty much, like, for me, I guess. She was just like, I see what you do to other guys. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to make it hard for you. And I was just like, I can respect it.
Right.
But it just caught me off guard because me personally, I just love the game. I'm just out there enjoying myself, not necessarily like, oh, she in front of me, I want to do this. I'm just out there enjoying myself.
Right.
So for her to point that out, I was just like,
Yeah.
okay.
So have you always had this humble spirit? Because
Yes.
since I met you, you've been very humble.
I don't like attention at all.
Okay.
So like when people talk about me or about my game, like I just let them do it. Like, okay, however you feel, whatever I've shown you to make you say these things, okay.
I got
As long as there's nothing negative, I won't speak on it because that's your opinion.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's what's up. That's what's up. Are there any like big moments that you remember in college as a collegiate basketball player that, you know, are just very memorable that you just remember, or your biggest lesson as a college player, student athlete?
I would say my biggest lesson was definitely, I have two of that actually.
All right.
So the first one was pretty much if you prepare hard as far as like your preseason, your training, your season is gonna be a breeze.
True.
When, like, granted, I didn't ask to be prepared that hard.
Right.
Who does, honestly?
Right.
But preseason was definitely like challenging. I want to say sophomore or junior year.
Okay.
But we had an alumni come back, and she was our preseason coach. You know, we were doing the most extreme things, and we always complaining and tired and towel pushes and bricks in practice, and we hated it. But then when the season came, we never got tired. We always had energy, so we kind of was like, okay, like we see the method to the madness.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So, and then my second one would be, honestly, show up in that moment. So in every moment, anything you're doing, everything you have to do in that moment.
Okay.
And I'll only say that because we played Virginia Union
Okay.
in CIAA championship game.
Okay.
Mind you, whole team, same exact team.
Yeah.
We lost to them. I don't even know by how much,
Oh, yeah.
but we lost to them.
Right.
Cool. So we got invited to the NCAA tournament,
Okay.
which was Virginia Union was hosting. They just won.
Right.
So we had to play them a week later. We beat them a week later.
Yeah.
So for me, I was just trying to wrap my head around, like, why weren't we ready in the championship game? Like, we can consider ourselves champions if we showed up like we did a week later. We've been playing them the whole season. You know, they winning, we're winning. Like, so why didn't we show up in that moment?
Yeah.
I always tried to figure it out. But for me, I don't think that we was as focused as we were, or we didn't want it as much as we did want it, knowing we lost in the championship game to them.
Gotcha.
So it was just like a shock, like, okay, we lost. Now we really have to beat them at this point to continue.
Right. Right. I like that, being in the moment. That's big, especially for playoffs, for sure.
It was like very frustrating, heartbreaking moment because we talked about winning it, but we all didn't show up together to achieve it.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, so, all right, so after college, let's talk about post-college, right? I know we talked when you got out, you were hooping in the area, Pitts League, Bethel League. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the local leagues that, you know, that help keep us in shape to stay ready to go overseas. I don't think people talk about that enough.
I enjoy being from this area. We are literally, if not the top, one of top.
First Georgia County.
Yes, for sure. We are one of the top basketball areas.
Yeah.
So just being able to hoop with other women, other professional women, or even, I would say, your top athletes usually are from this area. So you run across anybody. You're likely to run across anybody in the gym. So to have those leagues like the Bethel League, the Pitts League for us women, which is very important. We don't have a lot of stuff just for us women. It's usually co-ed or some women hooping with the men. But to have that for us, it was very big.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I enjoy it. And I still try to participate in those leagues as much as I can.
Where'd you MVP?
Yeah, of the Pitts
Very
League.
humble about it. Look at a photo. Wait a minute. So you were MVP. What year was this?
This was, I want to say 21.
21.
It was recent.
Yeah.
I necessarily just let that stuff go by, but it was most recent, and we actually did win the Pitts League.
I feel you on that because I think I played in the Pitts League. It was during COVID, so I think it was 2020 or 2019. That's when we won a championship. I was on a Kyah team.
Yeah. So it was the year after that.
Okay, so that had to be 2021.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because I remember seeing you and playing against you in the in the Pitts League.
Was it in the championship? The one?
It could have been. I just remember the game and the court we were on. I don't even remember if it was championship or playoffs at that time.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, I definitely respect, Pettis.
Yeah.
Kyah for doing that for the community.
Definitely. And being kind of close to Pettis, like, he is trying to bring the women's Pitts League back. Because I was telling him, like, what are you doing at this point? Like, we need some moves. And he was like, I got you. We gonna work on bringing it back.
Yeah.
He was like, you know what? I might even let you run it. I was like, I'll be there to assist if anything, but like I'm still a player right now.
Right. Yeah. Nah, for sure. All right, so now let's get into overseas. Let's get into that whole process of trying to get overseas. I don't know the full story, so I'm open. I want to know more. But I know it was a little bit like it was a grind for you just to get out there.
It was.
And just walk me through. Let's break it down.
Okay, so after graduation, I was in contact with some agents, but, they were like, you need film, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, I have only college.
Right.
Like, it's kind of like getting a job.
Yeah.
They want you to have all of this experience, and you're just getting to this point where you need them for the experience.
Right.
So I took, I want to say like 3 to 4 years before I got over. I want to say 3.
Yeah.
Took 3 years before I actually got an opportunity and a contract sent to me to go over.
Yep.
So,
and that is normal.
Yes, it is normal. It is
like,
normal.
It's not easy.
You have to figure out if you really want to do that. Because I turned down a lot of like government positions, a lot of jobs, career jobs, because at that point I was just like, no, I want to be a professional basketball player overseas.
Yep.
So I was working little small jobs, all temporary jobs, stuff that I can up and leave, and I'm not committing too much to anything, just so I can work out when I want to, I can play when I want to, all to reach the goal of
going overseas. Let's talk about that because I can relate to that 100%. I get out of college, I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought I was gonna get a shot, like at the league. Because I thought I was gonna have a training camp or a tryout, something.
I thought so as well.
Right? And it's like, that's defeating already, right? So you're like, damn, coming out of college, I didn't really have a plan B. Like,
not at all.
I got my degree, but my plan B was I studied film and video studies, so it was to start my own video production company.
Okay.
But, that wasn't plan A.
Yeah, you had to stick with plan A, so you didn't have plan A anymore. Okay.
So, yeah, so talk to me about that, like, what, you've been a basketball player your whole life, right? Once you play basketball. What did you study in college? Did you rely on that when you got out of college? Or was it like, I'm just hustling, so I could get overseas? What was your mindset with that?
So I studied communications, public relations.
Okay.
So studying PR, it was something I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like I still related to a lot of like life and things now.
Yeah.
But I was grinding. I wanted to be a professional athlete. So I wasn't, sending my resume out to different companies and stuff. I was working out because I wanted to go.
Right. Yeah. You're a hooper.
Yeah. So honestly, it was no other question. Like you said, it was my plan A.
Right.
And for me, plan A, there's no plan B because plan A is going to work.
Yeah. No,
we got to get plan A.
Right.
So that was my mindset. And like I said, it took 3 years for me to do it, but I was grinding. I was consistent. I knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
So I feel like as long as you know what you want, you put the effort towards getting it.
Yeah.
It may not come when you want it to come, but it's going to come for you.
So when you got that first call, or how, I don't know, it's different for everybody, how was it? How was that? Did you get a call? Did you get an email? You know, what was the process? That first contract? Talk to me about it. Or was it an investment? Did you have to like, you know, pay for your own flight, your travel? I've done that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so
I would say it wasn't necessarily an investment because they did pay for my flight.
okay.
But it was a huge risk because the first year I went over, you know, the WhatsApp talk, talking to different agents, time difference, whatever. So I got connected with someone who was like, you know, I have a job if you want to just get your feet wet. You know, just get this experience. They're not paying anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is anything?
Yeah.
It was like less than $500.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was just like, so I sat with myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, you've been working these little jobs. You saved up just in case you had to do this.
Yep.
So do you want to take this risk of going for this change?
Yep.
And, you know, getting your videos and getting the experience they want you to have?
Yep. The content you need.
Yeah. Or do you want to just wait for that big contract?
Right.
So I was like, you know what? Nope, I'm going.
Nice.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to go.
Nice.
So I told my family, like, I got a contract. I didn't even tell them how much, nothing. Personally, it's my business.
Yep. You know, I've been there.
Yeah. So I told them, like, okay, I got an opportunity overseas. You know, everyone's excited. They don't know much. They're asking questions, but, you know, you're giving them what they need.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I went, and I was in Serbia.
Okay.
So I was in Serbia in a town called Verbis.
Okay.
So the team was amazing. Like, I still talk to them to this day. Some players that I play with, I still talk to them through, like, social media to this day.
Okay.
My coach was very nice.
Yeah.
Like, she made sure I was good all the time. Anything I needed, they were going to figure it out. If I say, okay, my body hurt, she was paying for my massage personally.
Oh, wow.
So she really, like, looked out. And this was my first year, and I didn't get to come home for any holidays or anything. So I literally was there the entire time.
And that's tough. Yep.
So to give you a little background of the environment, it was a very small town.
Okay.
Very, very small. So I went, okay, it was so small that I went to the grocery store after washing my hair. So I had my afro out.
Okay.
Right? Go to the grocery store, normal day. No one says anything. You know, regular people.
Right.
I come back home, my teammate comes over, and she was like, oh my God, everyone loves your afro. I was like,
All right.
so they were talking about it in town, how I was just walking around with my fro.
Wow.
And I was just like, okay. like, what do I say to that? Okay, how do you know? I just was at the grocery store.
Right.
So,
You were in Serbia. I lived in Iceland.
okay.
And were you like the only black person? Yeah. Okay.
I was the only black person. So throughout, I think it was like one random week, I saw 2 other African-American people. But I don't know why they were there. But like, we saw each other, we acknowledged each other, and just, you know, kept it moving.
Yeah.
But I shared an apartment with 3 of my other teammates.
Okay.
So it was someone that was older than me. She was European.
Okay.
She had her own room. I had my own room. Then we had 2 younger players share a room.
Okay.
But in the apartment, no TV. Bathroom was, you know, a European bathroom. For those who don't know, you never know what you're gonna get with the European bathroom.
Yeah.
Really small bed, and you know they don't do really mattresses over there. They do like the pillow tops type of thing.
Yep.
So I had a twin pillow top, hella storage, a lot of storage in my room, no TV. So I was watching my iPad for a year.
Yeah. That's real.
But I was like, okay, I'm here.
This is it.
This is it. This is what I asked for. You gotta survive it. Like,
Yeah.
be careful what you wish for. You're gonna get it.
This is the dream.
Yeah, this is the dream. Exactly. So I was like, okay, do everything you have to do on this court so your next year can be better. Okay.
ASAP.
ASAP. Maybe even half the season, but you here and you got it.
No, for real.
So it was definitely a humbling experience.
Yeah.
Because when most people tell their story, they tell all the good stuff. Like, overseas, so dope. I lived here. I did this.
Yeah.
But when you actually go, you never know what to expect. You don't know if it's going to be good or bad until you're there and you're in it.
And that's the scary part, because they'll tell you everything you want to hear.
Yes.
You get
The
there.
gaslighting is crazy.
Gaslighting. Oh man, no, I'm so glad you broke all that down because like, just from like the bathroom, that's
That's
a
the
big
major
one.
thing.
That's a big one. Man, how was practices in Serbia? Because I know different countries sometimes. Like I was in Luxembourg, we only practice 2-3 times a week. Sweden,
We
was every day.
practice every day, twice a day.
Wow.
Every day, twice a day.
What
I
were the
mean, sometimes.
times?
So morning we had like a shoot around,
Yeah.
kind of like individuals or drill work,
Right.
and then in the evening we had team practice.
And that
But
was every
granted,
day?
every day. But granted, they go to school, so they get time off.
Right.
I'm just the one who don't have anything on my schedule, so I'm supposed to be at both practices every day because I don't have anything.
Right.
So like I talked with my coach and I was like, okay, sometimes I'm gonna be missing one at practice because
Right. That's a lot of wear and tear.
yeah, it's a whole lot of wear and tear. And then sometimes the gyms were cold.
Good one.
Gyms were cold. Like it was so cold. Like I'm catching the ball and my hands are stinging. Like cold.
I get you. I feel that.
So I kind of adapted to hoodie and sweatpants, hooping in hoodie and sweatpants.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That gives me flashbacks. When I was in Morocco, I didn't live in the hot Morocco. I lived in the mountains.
Okay.
So the gym, I don't know why, like it'll be like a regular day like this. Like it's cold, but not too cold.
Yeah.
We go in the gym and
It's freezing. Yeah.
Like, why?
And that's how it was. And they'd be like, yeah, they didn't turn the heat on today or they're turning the heat on later tonight. And I'm just like, but we have, mind you, we share the gym with like handball and other sport.
Right.
So I'm like, they see the schedule. They know people going to be in here.
Right.
We can't get no type of heat.
Right.
And my teammates used to laugh at me because I literally was coming in there wrapped up layers. And they're just used to it. And they in shorts, maybe a long sleeve.
Right.
I'm freezing.
But you have to be. You have to be layered up. That's crazy. So that was in Serbia.
Mm-hmm.
And Serbia is already cold, right?
Yes.
Yes, in Serbia. Where is Serbia, by the way? I know it's like a silly
So
question.
it's near Romania. I was really close to Romania. Honestly, that's kind of what I associated with that kind of area. It's not far from Russia.
Oh, okay.
Not far from Russia at all.
Wow. So were you able to travel or not really?
No,
You
not
were
really.
locked in?
So yes, and everything, like the capital was Berlin, which was 4 hours away.
Yeah.
It was about 4 hours away. And I didn't have anything in my town. So like to go to the movies or the mall, like 30, 45-minute drive. I only went once. So I
didn't have time?
It wasn't time. And then if I did have time, it was like, okay, I'm not going to move too much alone. Like I'll explore my area, but I was moving off Wi-Fi.
Right.
So at that point, I didn't really kind of adapt to really being over there, getting a SIM card or changing my phone to the global plan.
That's a real one. Because to be honest with you, I think I got a SIM card one time.
Yeah, I never did it. I never got a SIM card, but I was like, okay, I have T-Mobile. So I'm like, I have a global plan.
Yeah.
So I'll do the global plan. I still ask for Wi-Fi everywhere.
Right. It's a habit.
Everywhere, yeah, it's a habit. So
Hey.
that kind of got me through.
Yeah.
And of course, they do everything like through WhatsApp and stuff like that. So I was pretty good, pretty fine.
So Serbia, that was 2022 or 20... What year was that?
2022.
2022, right after you won the championship in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And then after Serbia, you went to Sweden. That's
Yes.
what we talked.
So I actually went to Kuwait.
Okay.
So,
Missed that one.
so from Serbia, I got contracted to play in Kuwait.
Okay.
But Kuwait was a mess, obviously. For me, it was a mess. It was one of those. So I played half a season in Serbia. So of course I got the contract for more money.
Right.
I was out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So I was like, okay, bet. This is the money that I thought I would be making.
Right.
So I left. My coach was like, she didn't want to release me from Serbia. And I was like, okay. I was like, ah. So now I'm having meetings with her, like, we're not at the top of our league.
Right.
But she just was like, I want to make sure that we stay in the top league.
Right.
And I know I can't do that without you. We need to win these certain games.
Yeah.
So my thing was, okay, if I win these games for you, you going to let me go after?
Right.
Because we only need these 2 games.
Right. And you did that. Wow.
I mean, there were teams that we beat already that it was like close games, good games, but and my mindset is different now. I'm trying to get to part B now. I made it to A. Now got to get to part B.
So when you did that negotiation, you're not your agent. Did you have an agent?
All right, so I didn't have an agent.
Nice.
I honestly haven't signed to an agency.
Oh, this was all like
it's all word of mouth. And Serbia, I want to feel Serbia. Serbia came because of my friend Ruth.
Okay.
She plays professional as well. So I was just connecting, networking,
Yep.
So, of course, when people see me play, they be like, oh, where did you play? You play overseas? And I'm just like, no, I'm trying. I'm trying to get there.
Yeah.
So she's like, I got an agent. He's really cool, blah, blah, blah. She connected me with him. He was very cool.
Yeah.
And we talked, whatever, and then he found Serbia for me. But I never signed with him. He honestly did it off the strength of word of mouth.
There are agents out there that do that. That's what's up.
So it's hard to find them.
Yeah.
Because I've came across a lot of janky, weird, money-hungry agents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
they're out there.
Yeah. And it was interesting, but we still kind of talk. And I put other people on.
Yeah.
If I can be that bridge, I'm definitely willing, because it took me too long, in my opinion. So if I can speed up someone's process, definitely.
Yeah, I feel that. I like that word bridge. I feel like I'm at that point in my life too. Like, and just when we connected too, just be able to talk.
And relate.
Actually, yeah. Like, because it felt like at that point in my career, not a lot of people understood. So, talk to me. You went to Kuwait?
Yeah, I went to Kuwait half the season. And, of course, very warm, near Dubai, very rich place. But it was kind of hard to kind of adapt because of management. Management was older, set in their ways. And in Kuwait, men and women can't interact.
Okay.
So it's a Muslim country, and men and women can't interact unless they're married, blah, blah, blah.
Gotcha.
So that wasn't necessarily an issue for me, because I went because the person I was dating at the time was there.
Okay.
And he was helping me. He knew my situation. Of course, we're dating. We're talking about stuff.
Right.
So his coach was becoming the women's coach as well.
Okay.
So he did men and women. So I guess he told his coach, like, yeah, my girlfriend hoops too, blah, blah. Right. They saw highlights of me and them. Okay, yes, we like her.
Yeah.
So I went to Kuwait, and I'm like, okay, I know someone here. So I'm hanging out with him, his friends, our coach.
Right.
But I am an American woman.
Right.
So his teammates were like police officers, people in the government there. So like they had status. It wasn't an issue for them that I was with them.
Right.
But for my management, they didn't like it. So I lived in the gym. It was on the compound, so I lived inside of the gym.
Gotcha.
But it was like they didn't want me to leave ever. Every time I left, it was like they was clocking me, watching every move. So it was very uncomfortable. Like, I'm grown. I'm a woman. I know what to do and what not to do. I understand what country I am in, things like that. But you can't expect me to just be in this compound every day, all day. And we practice once a day at 6 p.m. So I have the entire day.
Yeah.
Like, granted, I went to malls and things like that. But if I ever was like, I left with a teammate or something, it was calling the teammate, oh, where are you going? Where are you taking her? Can I have a life outside of this basketball?
Wow.
So I ended up leaving Kuwait.
Okay.
And like they fulfilled my contract and everything, still paid me what I was deserved, because we just wasn't connecting. And they understood that they were wrong, but they wanted still that control.
Yeah.
So after that, I'm home a little early, so still working out and everything. And then that's when I went to Sweden.
Wow. Okay. So did you go to Sweden at the top of the season, or was it like mid-season?
It was top of the season.
Okay.
And I actually enjoyed Sweden because I stayed in the middle of Stockholm.
Wow. Yeah, Stockholm is great. Only been there one time to explore, but I totally see what you're saying.
Yes, I stayed in the middle of Stockholm, so middle of the city.
You're the best part.
Yeah, it was so much to do. It was like I literally felt like, okay, I live in Europe.
Yeah. I would say Sweden was probably the best country. I feel like my favorite country to live in.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
living experience was amazing.
for sure.
It's a little expensive.
Yeah, it was it was a little expensive.
I was so at peace out there. I love the
Literally.
apartment. Like, I love my setup. It was nice.
So my setup was really essential,
Okay.
but I like it. I enjoyed it. So when you came, it was like a efficiency, but it was very essential, and it was just for me, and
Yeah.
I can come and go as I please. It was just perfect for me,
Yeah.
and we practiced once a day
Once a day. There
at
was no
5:30.
There was no morning workout.
At 5:30.
Stop it.
So sometimes he'd be like, "Hey, I want to do a shoot around, practice in the morning, or if you want, you can get up shots." Because we shared a gym with other sports.
Okay.
5:30 every day.
That was the same. We had like it was like voluntary if you want to get shots up. But like I don't know, like me, I wanted.
Yeah, of course.
So it wasn't really voluntary for me, but practice is like I want to say 2 p.m.
Okay, so that's really midday.
Yeah, like really midday. But yeah, then you had the evening type thing. So, but yeah, did you like the league? How was like?
I enjoyed the league.
Yeah.
I definitely did. I would say it was more competitive than Sweden.
Yeah. Or the
I mean, Lord,
Kuwait?
more competitive than Kuwait for sure, and Serbia.
Serbia. Okay.
So Serbia, it was a decent league, but it wasn't that competitive.
I got you.
So when I came to Sweden, it was like, okay, like I'm running into people who can hoop. So that's always fun.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, Sweden was a lot of fun. The competition was there for sure.
Yeah, especially the Lulus. They always, they're that team of that league.
Did y'all ever beat them?
No.
We beat them one time. We gave them their first. They were 21-0, like since last season going.
Yeah.
And for some reason, we struggled. Like we struggled. We had our ups and downs, and we ended up beating them like top of the year 2023. And it was like they said that was
It was a
the
big thing.
big thing, but like they really are good. Like,
Yeah, they definitely a great program.
yeah.
We beat
Norrköping.
It wasn't Norrköping. Was it Norrköping? What is the other big team?
How was it? It was Norrköping, Luleå. Alvik was good. L team was good. I know you talking about. They're like
They
white
have a
and
men's
black.
team, yes. And they have a men's team, and they're not too far.
Osters?
Ostrava or something like that.
Yeah.
So we beat them, but it was really big because they had some twins that played in the EuroLeague and everything back on their team, and we beat them literally
Big deal.
overtime. We were down 20, came back in overtime and beat them.
Wow.
Probably the best game of my career.
Wow.
I had a great time.
How many did you have? It sounds
I had like 32.
Yeah.
It was
like that.
it was a great time, but like my coach was talking to me like, yeah, I don't want you to be afraid. They are experienced guards.
Right.
So whenever I run into someone who's experienced,
Yeah.
now I'm trying to see where I am personally. That's how I looked at it. So like I'm trying to get to where you've been. So now we're challenging each other.
Right.
So my goal is to beat you because you have all of this experience.
Yeah.
So maybe after we can converse and connect. But my thing is like, okay, you've been to where I'm trying to get to, so I have to show up at this point.
Right. That makes sense.
I had a great time.
Yeah. So yeah, would you say that was like your biggest career highlight overseas, or do you have any other moments you remember? It could be in Serbia, Kuwait.
I think that one, for me, that one was it. It was a really, really big deal. And just the game, honestly, coming back 20 and the time of it,
Right.
it was crazy.
Yeah, and that's a tough team. I just felt like they were so efficient. Like any mistake, they made you pay.
And they rarely missed. I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
everyone's field goal percentage cannot be this high. Like, come on now.
Yeah, no, it was. They were that good. So let's talk about some of the challenges that you faced. I know we talked about like the living conditions and just like Kuwait. That one like really sticks to me. Like that whole experience, just being on.
That was definitely, I would say Kuwait was just the most challenging because, of course, being an American woman, going to this other country and understanding their rules and everything.
Yeah.
But I think it was more challenging for me because it wasn't enforced by the people. It was only enforced by my management.
I got you.
So that whole being controlled because I signed a contract thing just didn't sit well with me. Like,
Right.
I was like, okay, send me home then. Like,
Right. And you know, it takes a lot of guts for anybody, any athlete to say, I want to go home.
well, yeah,
Because a lot of people are afraid and they'll sit
Speak
in
on it.
situations,
speak on it.
be miserable just to prove
Just to
something.
prove a point.
And it's like,
It's a nobody though.
yeah, like, why are you sitting there being miserable? And I'm gonna be honest, I've been in situations where I'm just like, all right, I just want to stick it out.
Yeah.
Have a job.
I'm telling. Yes, please speak on it. Please speak on it.
And you got to think about it, like the money, like depending on the contract, the league, the situation, the money's probably not that much unless you're playing like in the big countries,
Yeah.
like Russia,
Exactly.
Turkey, and all that. So you are contemplating, I'm gonna go home with nothing.
Yeah, and I think that it's important that you touched on that because a lot of people don't know. Everybody think, oh, you're an overseas athlete, you're getting paid these huge amounts of. There are levels to everything.
Yeah.
There are levels to everything.
Yep.
So when you do come across a person, like you said, that's just sticking it out, they're considering everything.
Yeah. Exactly. Like their lifestyle, their roof over their head,
Yeah.
like food on the table. Yeah, you're right.
What they're going to come back home to do or come back home to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I commend you and I respect you for taking that risk.
Thank you.
And you grind it out. You said you hustle, you worked your jobs, you saved up enough to go for it.
Yeah.
And that's honestly that's what a lot of athletes that want to play pro overseas might have to do.
Yeah.
Just to accomplish that goal. So
And it's definitely hard, especially coming from, I came from a D2,
Right.
so it was a little harder.
yeah.
And I wasn't connected with a lot of people who played professionally at that point. Maybe some guys, but most of the guy agents don't dabble in the women's league.
Right.
So I would say just prepare for anything and be open, honestly. And don't be afraid to take the risk because life comes with a lot of.
Yeah, I love that. And I would say, like, I know a lot of my friends overseas play D2, D3. And I know some D1 players as well, but I say the D2, D3 players stick it out longer.
Yeah.
I would say that. Like, I think D1 usually like 1 year, about.
Yeah.
But so I think like it doesn't matter which division you play in college. It's really how much you want it.
Yeah, honestly.
So-
And it's the journey you're willing to take to get there. Because a lot of people be like, oh, you still ain't go overseas? No, but I'm still working at it, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And it's about what you're personally okay with.
Right.
And
Man, I do want to touch on this. Like, I would say if any people, I guess, like have friends, loved ones that they know are trying to go overseas and they're not there yet. I would say like, I feel like the biggest pet peeve for me was like, why don't you have a tryout? Like, why aren't you in the league?
Lord.
Why aren't you overseas?
speak
And
on
it's
it. Speak on
it
it.
is like, it's a process. You have to be patient. It's not going to happen by the time, you graduate from college.
Yeah.
Like you said, may not happen the first year.
Yeah.
And
I think people from the outside just think because you play basketball, you can go try out for the league or be in the league. Some people don't even desire to play in the league.
Facts.
So you're kind of just putting your opinion, what you think they should do, on to them, not knowing where their mental space is about it.
That's a good one.
Trust me, I used to be like I necessarily don't want to play in the league.
Right.
Oh, why not? I just, that's just my preference. I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you should still just try out, give it a chance.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you have no idea, like, my lifestyle or the way this works. So I'm going to let you talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, 100. Okay. 100%, man. Like, and I discovered that because I used to beat myself up. Like, man, I should get a shot. Like, I should get a shot. And then when I went overseas, saw this whole different world and, just open to traveling and meeting people that thought bigger than the league.
Yep.
Thought bigger than that. And I was like, man, I was kind of putting myself in a box thinking like I didn't accomplish anything. Nah, I accomplished my goal.
Yeah, but you didn't feel fulfilled because you still had something you thought you were.
Yeah.
That was kind of old to you.
Yeah. And I just, at a certain point, I just kind of forgot about it. It's like, why y'all still asking me to things? But yeah, that's a tough one. So our next question for you, was it tough for you overseas trying to balance out like with the time difference and different time zone, just trying to stay in contact or communication with family and loved ones, or were you kind of like for me, like my first 3 years, I was like, I'm ready to go. Like, like I knew like I was gonna miss my family, but I was just so open and just so excited. Like you said, like just to be there.
Yeah.
But did it ever affect you at some point? Like, man, you were homesick or like it was just hard?
So I would say I didn't start feeling like homesick or anything until like previous years.
Gotcha.
Or later years, I would say.
Yeah.
But when I first went over, I was excited to be there. So of course, like I'm telling them, oh yeah, I'm 6 hours ahead of you.
Yeah.
So I'm like turning my phone down because I know they're gonna call, forget, or I'm up late, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. talking to them, just not even realizing, okay, you got practice, maybe a morning practice.
Right.
So it took some adapting, but once I kind of got the hang of it, the time and everything, I used to be like, all right, so call me when you wake up. It's the middle of my day, but when you wake up, when y'all go to school, call me.
Yeah.
So over time, I got used to it, they got used to it, or I would just call them. And then when I came home, honestly, I was always ready to go. After I came back, so my first year, it was a lot.
Yeah.
But still, when I came home, I was like, yeah, I'm ready to go back. So I was excited to leave. Like, once I was here for too long, what I felt was too long.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, no, gotta go. Where's my next contract? Where I'm going, what I'm doing.
That's a great point, because, and I had this conversation with a former teammate, and it was always like, after 2 weeks, I was ready to go.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks is like, okay.
Yeah, everybody doing the same thing. Not much has changed. And it's all grandparents, family. Now I'm out of here.
Yeah, yeah, that's so real. That is so crazy. But I would say for me recently that's changed. Like this past year, I would have thought that would have happened to me this past summer, but this summer I was like, I just want to chill.
Yeah,
I just
yes. So
be here.
I definitely thought that was gonna happen to me because I decided to be here now.
Yeah.
So I've been back and like my perspective is so different. It's really like
What makes
it's mature.
different? Mature. Yep.
And like I had to make so many hard decisions or like adult decisions with my personal life.
Yep.
That when I came back, I'm like, okay, I'm in control now.
Yeah.
And I can decide. So now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go spend a day with grandma, take my sister out. Like, granted, they're still doing the same stuff.
Right.
Under the people who've been here, it's not too different.
Yeah.
But it's like, I want to spend more time now. I kind of value that more than I did when I was grinding.
Right. I feel that one. Like that was the biggest thing I think I keep telling people where they're like, oh, you're gonna go back overseas. Like, honestly, I miss family, and it's not even like I'm hanging out with them every day. It's like just be able to see them on the weekends.
Yeah, the access to them. Yeah,
it's better than I see you in 6 months.
Exactly. I think for me, I missed a lot of big things like weddings and birthdays.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dang, as an adult, I've never been to a wedding.
Wow.
And when I went to Prague, the Czech Republic, this year, I left right before my cousin's wedding. Like, literally days. So I was just like, and I was telling her, like, I may leave, but still put me on the table. Like, I want to be there.
Yeah, no, for real.
And I ended up missing it. And I'm just like, I want to be here for stuff like that. I want to experience those things.
Yeah.
Although going overseas, I would say my mental perspective has broadened.
Yeah. 100%.
So now when I come back here, I do think a lot differently. I see things differently. But like those little things I miss.
Yeah.
And they're very cultural over there. So like when you come back, you're just like, okay, where can I implement my culture or the things I want to do or my traditions?
Right. Yeah.
So,
I'm glad you mentioned that. I think I can relate to that. It wasn't a wedding, but my mom turned 60 this past year.
Okay.
And my family, my dad threw her a surprise birthday party. And it hurt.
Yeah, because you're not there.
Yeah, I didn't think it was like, I was sad I couldn't be there, but I didn't think it was gonna hurt like that.
Yeah, you don't realize until you actually missing it, and you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You be like, dang, okay, it's not a big deal, but like you miss that. Like that's some memories you won't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right, so I know you've accomplished a lot as collegiate basketball player, professional basketball player. You stuck it out, you grinded it out. You played in one of the, I think, top leagues overseas. You played in Sweden. You played on a good team. You had success. What advice would you give to collegiate athletes, student athletes coming out of college? I know it's different now with these NIL deals and stuff, but
Very different.
what advice would you give them?
I would definitely say stay humble. For number one, try to know yourself as much as you can, or learn yourself as much as you can. And if you want it, do everything you think you have to do in order to get there.
Right. I like that. You do what's necessary.
Yeah.
Oh, if you were to describe yourself in one word, what would it be and why? This is one of the toughest questions.
I would say adaptable.
Okay. Why?
And I would say adaptable because no matter the environment or place, I could say, I still I can't say I remain myself, and I find a way to be comfortable no matter where I am. No matter the circumstances, I literally will just adapt. Like,
that's what's up.
Yeah. It's not easy, but I do it.
Yeah. Kyah, well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yes, thanks for having me. I had a great time.
I mean, I feel like we can do this again.
Yeah,
we can recap. It's always more. I feel like after you get done doing the interview, you're like, I should have said this, said that. But I appreciate you being open and sharing your story. I can relate to it, but I think a whole lot of people just don't even know what you just talked about. So, thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me, and I'll definitely be back.
Yeah. Cool. That's a wrap. Breakdown with Taylor Brown. This podcast will be out real soon. So thank you guys for tuning in.